It's Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show. We are live from our Kingdom Financial Group studio here at 5th and State, also live on Facebook and on YouTube. We're having the crucial conversations that Erie needs, and I am super excited to have with us here in studio the head coach for Gannon University women's basketball. It is Coach Cleve Wright. Coach, good to see you, sir.
Thanks for having us again.
Absolutely. And we've got Sydney from the Erie Sports Commission. Welcome. Appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having us.
All righty. So here we go. It is the Gannon University and Edinburgh, Penn West Edinburgh, together for this CCA Women's D2 Tip-Off Classic. It's starting.
You said that well. That's a mouthful, but you said it.
It's starting right up, next week, 7th through the 9th?
Starts the 7th. Yeah, Friday the 7th. Mm-hmm.
All right. So have we had a tip-off?
No, this is
before?
an exempt event. In other words, it doesn't count against our numbers of games we're allowed to play, but it counts in our record. So if people who follow us, last year we went to Vancouver and played in a CCA event, a Conference Commissioners Association event. The year before that, we went to Montana. Well, we've done these, and then years ago we went to California to one in Anaheim near Disneyland, and it used to be only one event throughout the country. Now there's probably 3 or 4 different events. They can be both men and women. And the Erie Sports Commission jumped on it and said, "Hey, let's see if maybe we can host one of those events here in Erie." They put in the application, got it.
Wow.
Went to work on this. Asked Gannon and Edinburgh if we wanted to participate and help get this going, and here we are. This is probably over a year ago.
Yeah,
I'd say about a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's perfect timing, considering the Highmark Event Center just opened up in the spring, right?
Yeah, January. We played our first games in January of last year, so we haven't even been there full year.
Right, and so it just lines up really, really well for this upcoming season. When you're talking about basketball at this level, you were mentioning off mic that these are top 10 D2 teams. Talk about that. Yeah.
Well, I think this is certainly out of the 3 or 4 that are in the country this year, and I mean, it is, the preseason rankings came out. 4 of our teams are ranked that are participating in the CCA event are ranked in the top 10. 2 others are getting votes, so that's 6 out of the 8 teams that are being recognized nationally in the preseason poll, which we know preseason polls don't mean a whole lot. It's everybody's opinion or whatever, but I think that does show the kind of level and the kind of respect that is that these teams are coming to this event. They're getting that kind of respect out nationally. And
is this a kind of perfect timing for collegiate women's basketball too, considering all of the interest nationally in women's basketball?
Well, what I think is really cool, yes, I would agree, and I think what's really cool is it coming to Erie. I think Erie loves basketball.
Yeah.
And I know when we went to Vancouver, there were a few people there, and when we went to Montana, there were a few people there. I'm expecting a lot of people to be at this.
These teams won't know what hit them, right?
I'm expecting a lot of people to be at Gannon and to be at Edinburgh watching these games, because these teams are from all over the country. A team from Tennessee, a team from Minnesota, a team from Georgia, a couple teams from Michigan, and I think I'm trying to miss one. I might be missing one right there, but yeah, we're excited about the level of basketball that's coming, because we know that people around here love basketball.
Yeah. Sydney, talk about, again, the kind of efforts it takes for the Sports Commission to coordinate something like this, because it's hotels, it's transportation. We've got 2 sites, got to take care of all the entourages, as it were, right?
So there's definitely a lot that goes into planning an event like this. I think more than people even realize. We've been having weekly meetings for months now leading up to this, coordinating with Gannon and Edinburgh to make sure that everything is all organized, coming together. We're planning a welcome reception for all of the teams, their staff, the athletes coming in. And it's been a lot working with them, the hotel contact, and just getting everything together. But it's been coming along really well, and I'm really excited for it.
Yeah. Talk about, do the women, is this a big motivator for the team to say, hey, we're going to be on our game from day one? I mean, this is, we've got a long season, but day one is going to be a challenge. You know?
And the good thing is that our team has done this the last couple of years. We played that week before the actual official season opens, and they know the level of teams, because with us going to the Elite Eight last year, the very first team we play is Union. They made it to the Final Four. They made it one more round than we did. So they recognize the names of these teams. When we went the Elite Eight 2 years ago, Minnesota Mankato ended up winning the whole thing. They know Minnesota Mankato. They'll be here. And so this is just it's exciting. The preseason has went so fast, and we're just excited to get it all going.
What's the mascot for the Minnesota Mankato team? Because the only thing I know about Mankato is Little House on the Prairie.
I'm going to refer to Sydney on this one, and this is like major.
I believe they're the Vulcans.
I think you might be right.
The Vulcans. That makes sense. I don't know why that makes sense, but
I'll call in and tell you later.
No, this wasn't supposed to be a trick question. We were talking about old TV shows, and I thought of, when Pa would go to Mankato.
You're absolutely right. That's true.
We grew up with this stuff.
Sydney does not recognize the Little House on the Prairie. She has no idea.
Laura Ingalls Wilder.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, Sydney. Okay. Wow.
Way to throw down, Sydney. Way to throw down.
Way to go.
I think this is going to be a huge event. We have this experience in Erie, with collegiate, big collegiate events. You think about, for years we had, the men's event. What was it? The Burger King Classic or something like that?
Burger King Classic, high school.
Yeah. And, the Frozen Four in hockey. I mean, and of course we have these great, minor league teams on the pro circuit. Plus, of course, the heritage of these colleges, of these universities. I think this is gonna be a big deal for this area.
I hope so, and I hope that again there'll be the interest out there to see teams from different areas. We get to see a lot of PSAC teams, obviously, because they play all the time, and try to get, and then because our conference is fairly large, you don't get a lot of independent games, and so like I said, we've traveled the last 2 times. Now we're going to get to play our first 5 games are at home. Wow. That hasn't happened in a long time. And so hopefully the interest of playing these high-level teams, seeing where we're at right now with 13 returners, will be exciting for people to come watch Gannon basketball.
Talk about, again, let's go down the list, Sydney, of all the teams that are coming to the CCA Tip-Off Classic there.
So we obviously have Gannon and Edinboro, our 2 hosts for the event. We also have Northern Michigan, Union, Ferris, Minnesota, North Georgia.
And it looks like Cal is coming, too.
Yes, and Cal U.
Cal U, yeah.
So was that all of them?
Penn State,
Did I get them?
Yeah.
That's it. That was
Okay.
it.
You got them all.
Good job, Sydney. Good job. Good job.
I thought you had the same paper I had.
Good job. I think it is on there, but it's on the other side.
But she had it on
top of my head.
She had it on the top of her head. We kind of like what we were just saying, the idea that it really puts Erie on the map as kind of a destination for collegiate events.
Well, the funny thing is, and I don't know, I might have said this to Sydney and Mark, that I've already had people calling me about, are you hosting it again next year? They're already pursuing me for next year, seeing who we have this year. So that's a pretty cool thing.
Right.
So it's, I think it's a big deal. It's a big deal to host. And I do think if the experience goes well, I think we could probably work on Erie Sports Commission to do it again. But we really want to get that interest out there. I think people will really, really enjoy it.
Yeah, I think it's an important factor too. Is that because, like what you're saying there, PSAC is such a large conference. Mm-hmm. And how many games do you usually play?
22 conference games.
And how large is your season typically?
Well, usually we'll go till you want to go into late March, but then the PSAC tournament starts, right? So you're playing conference games. So again, just a chance to see different people is so cool, and literally the fact that quite frankly, here's what I want: is I want these people to come in and I want them to see Erie the way I know Erie and the way I love Erie. and I want them to see this crowds and go, wow, these people do really like basketball.
That's amazing.
Now, some of these teams are used to big crowds. Minnesota Mankato has a big following. That one I know for sure, and I think Union does as well.
Right.
So how many of those people will travel to us, I don't know, but I know that they have decent crowds, so they're used to that. And I just want to show Erie off. I'm like, hey, let's go.
Let's do it. We're going to get to more about the CCA Women's D2 Tip-Off Classic coming up, as well as what we can expect for Gannon women's basketball, and we'll just have a nice chat with Coach Wright here. It's Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show. talking women's basketball, and we're going to talk some leadership here in a bit. The CCA Women's D2 Tip-Off Classic being hosted at Gannon University's Highmark Event Center, as well as the Macomb Fieldhouse at Penn West Edinburgh. 6 games at each location, and that's just next weekend, the 7th through the 9th. So
yeah, Friday, Saturday,
going to be
Sunday.
A whirlwind of basketball here. And, the idea of, getting ready, this is the tip-off. And then you got to play the games that matter, because if I know you want to go to the tournament again this year. What's
all
that
I want
look
to
like?
do is I want to beat Union in the first game, Joel. That's all I'm thinking about right now. We're going to beat them, but I do want to make sure that I say something that is absolutely critical. The Erie Sports Commission has been vital for this, and they went out and really worked hard and got a great sponsor. AHN Sports Medicine and AHN Pavilion put money into this and sponsoring us, and I think that really speaks to
that's cool.
Their support of our community, support of Gannon University, support of Erie sports in general. And I tell you what, that sponsorship has allowed us to do a lot of things to promote this, and we're very appreciative for that.
All right, so you're going to start at the Tip-Off Classic.
Okay.
Yeah. You want to beat Union, and then you've got that tournament. How the new digs, that environment of excellence that you have over at Highmark Event Center now, does that bring up just performance? I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of tangibles and intangibles that create a performing team.
No
Talk
question.
about that.
I think that is that's something, the way I refer to that when I'm recruiting, when I'm talking to people, is you can say a lot of things, okay, but what you do really speaks loudly, and what our players have around them speaks really loudly. And so we pay attention to everything we put on the wall, every branding thing that we've done, we've paid attention to it, because we want it to communicate. We want our communication to our players, to our fans, to our recruits to be consistent. This is what's important. And it's going to be a result of doing this, and this, or whatever it might be. And so I think you got to really think about that. And I think our leadership at Gannon did a great job of thinking through the Highmark, and simply just the update was needed. We all knew the update was needed. But then thinking through what the seating looks like, what the lobby's going to look like, all of that's a lot. I mean, my wife and I were just trying to talk about flooring, and just the few little decisions you got to make there. We're like, what if we were one of these people that built their whole house, and you have so many decisions, it'd be just overwhelming. So, but we really like the decisions that were made by our leadership for the general area. And then we were given, I was given freedom to brand within the consistency of the university, brand our area, our offices, our locker room, those type of things, the things that are going to wash over our players daily, what they're going to walk through. And so trying to think about what we're going to put up on the wall, whether it's branding, whether it's framing, whatever it is, whatever quote, whatever it might be, you're thinking that through. And again, what a blessing, man. I'm a very blessed person.
A lot of people like to quote Ted Lasso or what have you. Is there something similar to like Believe that you want your women to kind of digest?
I need to take you on a tour.
Okay.
Believe is the word in our
Is it really?
staircase.
Well, they're always tap and believe, right?
Yes.
The soccer players.
It's one of the things what you believe is so important, and you've got to be able to see it in your head for it to happen. And you can't see it, when you dream it. You dream it. The first thing is dream it. The second thing is believe it, and then you actually, you live it. So it's one of those. That's in the stairwell. At the top of our stairwell is Sam Perosco, a cutoff. You can tell it's Sam Perosco because it's her jersey and she's going to the basket. But champions are built from the inside out. I think that's important. And then, another graphic in our locker room as they come in, it's all about the team. And it has 7 of our players. Carissa Dunham, a local player, has just hit a 3, fell back and got fouled on the 3, made the 3, falls back into the bench. She's got 6 players picking her up.
Oh, my.
And everybody's smiling and making and all this stuff. And every kid out of the 8 kids, 7 of them are still on the team, and that's the first thing that hits them when they open the door. Is it's all about the team. So, but that's the things we're talking about where it washes over you.
And again, they'll play basketball for a season, and then they go into the adult world, right?
Yeah.
And you think about these transferable concepts, these transferable values.
Yes. It's what's so cool about it is, and I'll just put a little plug in here for just for our community and for our alumni and for Gannon. We're taking a trip to Hawaii over Thanksgiving and playing 2 games, and we did our annual free throw-a-thon, and we raised I think we went over $60,000 today or yesterday. The goal was 50, and probably 12% of that, over 10%. I think 12 to 14% was alumni giving back. And I just think that speaks to the culture, speaks to our the interest and people who are in our program that want to give back to our program. And then our kids having conversations with those people. And
wow.
So pretty cool.
So we've got the Tip-Off Classic. We've got the Rough and Tumble PSAC. I mean, that's a pretty high-end conference in D2. And then you've got this trip to Hawaii.
Yeah.
No better place to be in over the holidays here. Things really start getting...
The government needs to open. I don't want to be delayed.
Yeah.
I'm here. We might be delayed, and we better get that thing open right now.
My
I do not want to
goodness.
be caught. But
you finished last year with a 28-7 record. Pretty solid stuff there.
With 10 freshmen and sophomores. The last 2 years we have been very young. This year we flipped the script a little bit, and we got a few more juniors. We got 14 on the team. So now we have 8 seniors and juniors, whereas the last 2 years we've been the opposite.
What's the assignment for the seniors to keep the young ones coming along? What do they do? Like, what is that like?
Well, I think when you're doing your culture, you're player led. We want to be player led, player motivated. So we have primary leaders and we have gap fillers, and that's all of our returners. So our seniors and juniors they understand the responsibilities they have, because everything they do, leadership is influence. You and I have talked about this. Leadership is influence. So every one of our kids, especially seniors and juniors, understand that everything they do either brings us together, it makes us stronger, it tears us apart, and makes us weaker. So you feel that sense of ownership and responsibility simply because you're on the team and because of who you are, not how much you play, not how many shots you hit, not anything. It's who you are that is the most important thing and will have the most impact. Because in our program, we want it to be about who you're impacting and who you're becoming, not how many points you're making, how many minutes you're playing, or anything like that. We don't want to put the value in that.
Talking to Coach Cleve Wright, can you hang with us a bit? We're gonna talk some more about we need to tap into your expertise about where college basketball, where college sports is at. A lot of folks don't, like old dudes like me, I don't get the idea of the portal and all that stuff. So maybe you can help us out a little bit here.
Okay.
Stay with us. It's Tuck Erie and the Joel Natale Show. We are live from our Kingdom Financial Group studio here at 5th and State. We're talking to Gannon, women's basketball head coach. Cleve Wright is with us here, along with Sydney from the Erie Sports Commission. This big event coming up here next weekend, the 2025 CCA Women's D2 Tip-Off Classic. So is this like... For D2, this is the one that CCA is putting on, and it's in Erie, PA, or there are multiple
There's
ones?
multiple throughout the country. And the attractiveness of this can be, initially the attractiveness is you get exempt games that don't count against your schedule because you're only allowed a limited number of games that you can schedule in an NCAA season.
Yeah.
But this is exempt, and there's other things that can be exempt, but this is one of the major ones. And then there are a few. And then the other thing is where you might go, the location, and so forth. So those are the attractive things. But a lot of times you get some of the top teams that want to do this because they want to play extra games. They probably want to travel a little bit, and they're hoping they can get really good competition.
Again, tickets are available online at eriesportscommission.com. It's Gannon, Edinburgh, Ferris State, Minnesota State, Northern Michigan, Penn West, California, Union University, and North Georgia. Minnesota, Mankato. Yeah, right there with Pa Ingalls.
That's right. That's right. It's a little bigger now, I'm sure.
I would think. All right. So we started the conversation with women's basketball's never been more popular. I mean, literally, the Caitlin Clark and then effect, and then of course all of the other things that are happening at the D1 level. Has that made a spark for D2 and D3 that you think?
It hasn't. It has, especially on the men's side. But on the women's side, I think there is some of that. It's not quite as prevalent in the women's D2 as it is in men's D2, but it could head there and probably will head there.
You think? Yeah. And college. I mean, you just saw Woj last night, ESPN's, who's now working for St. Bonaventure, right?
Yep.
That my computer just went crazy. I don't have any idea what that was. I wasn't even touching anything, and that went nuts. Anyway, sorry, Cleve. There's a lot. I don't want to say concern, but there's a lot of changes happening in collegiate athletics, right?
Yes. It's funny, and you asked that first question, and I was just thinking, so how is it affecting D2? Because of the money situation that's out there now. That really affected the Power Fives in the fact of because they can give money to their players. But you still have a lot of D1s that don't have a whole lot of money. And so what you find is now some of those smaller D1s are recruiting D2 players that are really good because they can't afford to pay them. They don't have the money to pay them, yet they're still at that level. And so it's a very interesting dynamic.
So you're competing for a player that would typically be D2 all day long, but against a D.
You can. I mean, at our level, at our.
But see, you have that reputation that you get D1.
We want D1
level players,
and I don't even like to call them D1 players. We want to get players that fit our program first. And probably, and I would say probably every one of my players on my team, if not 90% of them, they could probably play small D1. They just weren't seen by the right people, or they chose it. I mean, some people turn down that opportunity to be at a Gannon, where you can play at this level and you can be the big fish at this level and get a chance to win. People want to win,
right? NIL. Again, I think last time we talked about it, you didn't see a whole lot going on with that. Has that changed in the past year? For you, I mean?
Only not for me at all, but in the sense of it, a lot more talk than there was even a year ago. So you can tell. It's kind of like that train that's coming around the track. You can hear that whistle, and you know it's coming. I can't see it yet, but I know it's over there, and it's coming.
But it used to be that the original NIL stuff, wasn't that more boosters paying?
That's exactly what it was, and it still exists.
It still exists, but now isn't it actual teams playing?
Now the schools are paying. The schools.
That's totally changed.
So the money is coming from the schools. I think what is it, $20 million a year, and the schools.
That's their cap.
That's their cap, and they don't have to spend that much, but that's their cap, and then they can decide what sports, what athletes, who they're going to give that money to.
Doesn't that blow up Title IX, Cleve? Again, I don't want to get you political, but if you're given the football team in a D1 situation, 19 million of that 20, and there's just kind of scraps for the super duper gymnast or swimmer.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
I don't
Joel.
know.
Here's the thing, Joel. 10 years ago, 7 years ago, we were talking about graduation rates. Nobody said a word about graduation rates. I haven't heard anything about graduation rates in 5 years. Because, in my opinion, money has completely, it's the bling. So nobody's worried about that anymore. And Woj talked about that. He specifically said, he goes, what happened to the conversation about graduation rates?
Yeah, student
We used to
athletes,
have money tied to graduation rates at Division I. And I think there is still a little bit of money, but it's not the main money now. So it's not really talked about as much.
It's unreal. The explain the transfer portal. Has that impacted you? The idea that, this superstar of mine who might be a sophomore may not be with me next year. Again, that may not be your lived experience,
Right.
but I'm sure some of your coach colleagues are living that.
No question. At D2, it has affected that part. The portal has affected D2 because people are going in and at the end of the year, and they go in and they go shopping for kids who and looking for kids who have experience. And so who it's really hurt the high school kid. Not very many high school kids are getting, the number and percentage of high school kids who are getting recruited now is dropping dramatically due to the portal.
I don't totally understand that.
Well, because if I need to win or want to win, instead of going and getting a 17 or 18-year-old and developing them, why don't I go get this kid that just went into the portal, got 2 years experience, and for example, there's some schools. I'm not going to mention any specifically. There's some schools coming to the CCA that have several transfers on their team.
Is that right?
They have transfers on their team, and so
and they don't have to wait. I mean, wasn't there used to be like that waiting period and all that?
No waiting now. You get a one-time exemption transfer, and there's a rule getting ready that they're talking about now that they might vote on where Division II players could possibly have 5 years of playing time, and not have any red shirts anymore. And you got 5 years, 10 semesters. So if you get hurt, or if you're just on the team, that semester's gone. But if you stay healthy, you could play 5 years. I mean, the landscape is just moving underneath our feet all the time.
So, again, I know you don't like to dive into all this, I would imagine, because you're focused on, like you said, the game ahead of you, right? Mm-hmm. You're focused on motivating your players. But that's got to be like, something in the rearview mirror that's agonizing a little bit.
What's scary to me is that college basketball is becoming even more, there was some of it, transactional, where instead of transformational. And I got in it for transformation, and I'm very blessed to still be in it and still be with the team that since I've been back, we have had one kid transfer to another school. Wow. And I think that's because of the relationships that we build. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I don't know how much longer I'll be able to say that. That could happen this year. I don't know. But I do know this, that I want our kids to understand how to I want our kids to know that relationships are the most important thing that you can have, and like I said before, who you're impacting, who you're becoming, that's the most important thing, not the money.
Yeah,
and that's hard to say, but I don't think it's hard to say at my level.
Right. No, well, I see that. I can see that. I mean, let me ask you this. Another thing that, again, as a layperson that I've noticed is that it seems that in basketball at any level, you really have to, like, it's not enough to just play high school ball for your hometown team, and have a trajectory that you have to play AAU, you have to play year round, and all that. Is that what's the deal with all of that? I'm seeing kids abandon their local high school, and they're moving down south to a basketball specialty high school, or middle school. What's that all
They're
about?
being recruited. They're being recruited into that, and so they feel like they can't play at their high school level. Okay, well, high school level is so much different now because it's always been a situation in high school where players are playing for different reasons. Most of the time, it's a social. At least in the women's game, I think it's a lot of social element to that. Whereas you might have kids on teams. Who have dreams and aspirations and really love basketball or are very competitive, so to speak. And so I think there's just that wide range. And so then when money's involved and people can try and recruit, some of those places you're talking about, they're getting housing, they're getting scholarship, they're trying to get notoriety. So then,
there's YouTube channels about these 14-year-olds.
Yes, this NIL stuff. High school kids are getting paid. High school kids are getting NIL and getting paid and getting sponsors and all this stuff. And so they're in some of these young people and their families, they need advice because they need to talk to people who kind of know what's going on, because you can get taken advantage of. I mean, here you are, you're just a novice high school, you're a mom and a dad, you got somebody who's really good at a sport. And somebody wants to throw money and throw contracts and throw different things at you, you got to know what you're doing with that. And I just think to me, it's sad because the sad part of it is that in a conversation where sometimes you have parents and you have people they're making money off their child. And I just think that is the opposite of what it should be. How we've had our consequences with COVID? There's going to be consequences for this coming down the road with some of these kids who are getting paid big time money for 4 years, and then they get a real job after they get out of SMLA, which is now almost professional. Right. And now they get a real job, and they're getting a fraction of what they were getting to play college basketball. Jeez. How does that affect you emotionally and mentally and
my best years were behind me at 22.
Yeah. Well, I would have parents come in and say, "Oh, college was the best time of my life," and I look at them, or I look at my players and I say, "I hope college is not the best time of your life. I hope it's maybe the best time up to that point in your life, but I hope that's not. I hope the rest of it's not downhill."
Right.
I mean, that's sad. That would be just so sad. Who would want to do that? You get a long life after college,
I talk about the importance of the degree and the performance in the classroom and the life skills that you want your young women as they leave you, as they graduate, that they're bringing with them.
Well, I mean, obviously at this level, I think we can still make that very, very important, and we can make it very, very important. We have such great programs there, and I tell our players, I'm not worried about what your grades are. I don't want you to go for a grade. I want you to go to learn something, and I want you to come and get a degree where you never have to have a job your entire life, but you'll work hard and do something you love, because that's not a job. When you're doing something you love, it's not a job. And so I've been blessed to have that I'm going to my 40th year, and I've been blessed to have that my entire life, and I want that for every one of our players, because that's really what college should be about, is trying to discover, what do I want to do, and how do I want to impact this world, and how am I going to grow, and trying to teach them skills on how to grow. So I think I do think the classes, the education, the whole landscape of college and the way it is, the way it's set up. I love our president, Walter Iwaneko. Is just phenomenal, I think, in his leadership team, and the way we are constantly thinking about, because there's a lot of colleges that aren't surviving. And
that's a whole other macro overlay that we have to deal with here.
Exactly. And so I just love it that we have leadership that sees that changing landscape, sees what's going on, sees that, it may not it doesn't need and probably shouldn't look the same as it has for the last 50 years. It's going to have to change. And so I love it when you have people who are willing to change, willing to put their neck out there, like with us acquiring Ursuline and so forth. I know you've had Dr. Ion.
Yeah.
And that's just such forward thinking. Just like when COVID happened and Dr. Iwaneko, he's an am I saying this right?
Epidemiologist.
Thank you. I was going to trip on that. But we had that, and Gannon was ahead of the game when it came to being able to still participate in sports and still have classes and still go forward.
Let's get back to the Tip-Off Classic because we're just down to a couple minutes with Coach Wright here. Again, Sydney, 8-team tournament starts November 7th through the 9th here. Folks just have to go to your website for tickets, right?
Just go to eriesportscommission.com and you'll be able to purchase tickets for any game right on our website.
And again, basketball level will be at a high level because of the. What'd you say? 6 of the 8 teams are
4 of the top teams are in the top 10. 2 more are getting votes to be in the top 25. So yeah,
that's remarkable. The so you're looking forward to the season? I mean, you've got a.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? We're flying right now. It's very, very exciting. With the 13 returners, it's just in the change, and it's been it's different. And it's changing your focus, and that's one wonderful thing about coaching is that we only have one new player this year, and it is a different team than last year.
Wow!
It only takes one person in a group and a dynamic to change things. There's familiarity, but it's still different. And then as people grow up.
And we had you and the men's coach,
Easton,
Easton, a couple, and I'm sure they're excited about what's happening with the men, right? I mean,
super excited. We've had our preview dinner. We're getting ready to do a student, faculty, and staff madness at the Highmark. And on Thursday the 30th, and it's only for those people. No community. Sorry.
Yeah, I can't get it.
Come to the games. But it is going to be a wild night with costume party, our costume contest, and the whole deal. It's going to be a blast.
Fantastic.
So if you're a student listening, or a faculty or staff listening, please be there. I think we're giving $1,000 tuition voucher at that.
Oh my!
Yeah, and free giveaways.
That is madness.
And a DJ. I mean, it's madness. Let's go.
Let's go. Well, hey, stay in touch through the season. We appreciate you so much. And
thanks, Joe.
I tell you what, I'm always inspired in talking to you, Coach Wright. And it's not that you don't have old-fashioned values. You have timeless values. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
And we can't let those go for these young people. Yeah. I think about. And I don't want to get emotional, but I think about not every kid comes up in a, super positive environment. But when they come to Gannon, come under your tutelage, it's super positive. And they're changed people.
We tell our players joy is a superpower.
Amen.
It is.
Amen.
If you can be joyful, I mean, you can tell if a player's playing with joy or not. You just can.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Thank you, Sydney. Thank you, folks. It is 4:53.